Hi, Mr. Jenkins.
Yes.
I'm Austin O. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
I'm
Austin.
representing 3M today. I'm a
Have a
sales
seat.
rep for your territory. So, Mrs. Jenkins, I would assume. I guess. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's see. So, I read up on your profile a little bit, and I noticed that you are a big fan of classic cars.
I am. Yes.
What is your favorite model?
My favorite model? Probably a '68 Challenger. My dad had one when I was growing up. He has one now. We built it up together, so.
That's awesome. My dad has a Bronco, baby blue, 1971.
Awesome.
And he is just all caught up and taking really good care of it. If there is even remotely like a piece of dust on it or something, he goes nuts and just takes really good care of it. Excuse me, I have a little cold, so I might cough a little bit throughout this. Anyways, so with that Bronco, whenever I got my job with 3M, my dad noticed that we had this pro protection film called Scotch Guard, and he immediately got it for his car, and he's been using it ever since, and it has kept dust, scratches, dents, dings, everything off of it, just to keep it that great classic and keep that good feel. So I'm here with you today, Miss Jenkins, to bring you more value to your cars. Now with that, I've noticed that in the rental car business, whenever cars are not on the lot, you're losing. Whenever cars are not on the lot, they're in the shop, correct? So they're in the shop for paint repairs, for dings, scratches, dents, etc. And so whenever you have cars in the shop, you're not making money off that car. So per se, it's $100 a day for rent. So whenever it's in the shop, you're not making that $100. So that adds up whenever you have 2,000 cars per lot, per whatever airport or section in the States, wherever it is. Anyways, with 3M Scotch Pro Protection Series, it's here to keep your cars out of the shop and on the lot so you can be making the most money possible. Now, I brought this Yeti with me here today to illustrate to you what this whole Scotch Protection Film Series is. Okay. So, in the rental car business, y'all deal with lots of dents and scratches from anywhere from debris from semis to pickup trucks to gravel, rocks, etc., bouncing all around, and keys and luggage moving in and out of the back of the trunk ledge and all of that. So this is just picture this Yeti's made of aluminum steel, similar to what your cars are. And so picture this film on the outside that I have wrapped in this Yeti as 3M Scotch Pro Protection. Okay. So I'm going to scratch it really hard, and there's no scratches at all. I'm going to let you try it if you'd like to. Isn't that cool?
It is.
Yes.
I mean, all the people that are renting our cars, they're rough on them because in their mind, it's not my car. So if I just pop the luggage out, scratches in the back end, not the end of the world.
It's a rental car. I mean,
exactly.
I want it to look great when I get it, and I don't care what happens to it when I drive it, as long as it's got 4 wheels and gets me there and looks new. Right. So on the inside now, I want you to scratch it kind of hard. If you can see right there, there are some scratches, and you can do it too. So that's obviously without this paint protection film.
Right, which is what my cars look like when they get back.
Exactly. So completely throw out waxing and taking cars to the shop, and let's just say that dents and scratches don't happen. Essentially, what I'm saying is that's what it's going to be like without this Pro Protection film. Okay. It is a 3-tier deal. So when you purchase this product and install it on your cars, you're not going to have dents, scratches, and the minor dings. You can just completely throw out all the money that you spend on taking each individual car to the shop, etc. So moving on towards that, let's talk numbers.
Let's do it.
How much do you spend? I'll wait for you to get to your page. How much do you spend a year on taking your cars to the shop for, I guess, repair for paint, dents, dings, scratches on the hood, on the bumper, and the trunk ledge?
I don't know if I can give an annual number, but I would say it's probably about $700. Okay. And again, we're only bringing cars in when it's absolutely necessary, because not all renters are rough on their cars. They understand that you don't have to beat it up, but then I have the inverse where they're just
Exactly.
beat up. So it would be about $700 per car that ends up having to go back into the
700
shop.
car.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, $700.
Mhm.
That is a lot of money.
It is.
So I brought this chart. I think you have it too.
Yes.
Here. So this is the 3M Scotch Guard Pro Protection Film. This is the application fee, and it includes the product and all that. So labor, product, and just additional costs. So for application for the product, as well as labor costs for the product, etc., it totals out around $99.15, and that's for the hood.
Okay.
Now, if you were to do, so we have the hood package, then we have the trunk leads package, and then there's a combination package.
Okay.
So for the hood, it's $99.15, and I actually have a copy of this.
Okay.
You can take a look at that. And then if you go down, just for the trunk ledge, it's $12.79. Now the combo would just be combining those,
Okay.
and it totals up to around $111. So this chart that I was given, it's not very clear on whether it's for a whole year or not. However, they're both in the same units of time, I guess. So if you were to compare the two for costs, the right-hand column is without the paint protection film.
Right.
So, excuse me, that would be totaling somewhere around, let's just say, around $630.
Okay.
Just throw that number out there. So the difference is $111 to around $630. We'll just call it even, say, $500. So with this paint protection film application and all of it together, you could be saving $500 per car.
Mhm.
Now, I know that in, say, the car dealership versus car sales industry, that might not be huge because once a car's off a lot, it's not a big deal at all to
Right.
the car or the car dealership. However, in the rental car business, you're just renting these cars out, and you have to rent to the next person.
Mhm.
One big thing in that industry is having the cars look brand new.
Right.
Now, like we said earlier, there's renters that completely abuse cars and just don't care, but there's also some that do care.
Mhm.
So with the majority, we could honestly call it half and half. So with the one half that doesn't care about the cars, using this application towards that half that uses those cars, it would be completely worth it, because even if, let's just say that you use this paint protection film for your whole fleet,
Okay.
all of your fleets, there's no way to say whether those people that don't care or whatever are going to use just half of your cars, because after
Right.
2 or 3 years, they'll use both halves of it. So whenever we're talking, I guess, logistics or numbers here, I think it would be practical to use this paint protection film as for the whole fleet. But then on top of that, that's still saving you money by spending that extra $111, because whenever you spend this, you're not necessarily having to pay for this column right here,
Right.
because the purpose of this is to avoid this.
Mhm.
So I think, in my opinion, obviously having a little bias being a sales rep for 3M, there should be no questions. I mean, it is exactly what y'all need and what you're looking for and more. Do you have any questions for me today?
Well,
I know I kind of was a little fast there.
to circle back around, it's not that we're putting that $600, $700 into every vehicle.
Right.
So the investment to be placing a film on every vehicle, I guess what I'm tasked with in my role is to minimize what I'm putting into the vehicle.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. So I guess your question is, why would I want to do the whole fleet whenever in reality it's just a few of these cars? Or
Well, I'm
maybe a
saying
handful?
maybe not even with the film, because if we're only having to spend the $700 on a handful of cars, I don't know how I
Okay.
justify it. Because yes, I want to maximize the trade-in value,
Right.
but I want to minimize what I'm putting into the vehicles, because like you said, it's a 50-50, so not every vehicle is beat up per se.
Exactly. So how long do y'all typically keep your cars before you sell them out?
I would say probably 2 years max.
2 years? Okay. So whenever you sell those cars, part of, I guess, the total and how much they sell for
Mm-hmm.
is how well they are together. So whether they have dents, dings,
Right.
scratches, etc. So one thing that I would ask you to take into account before moving forward with anything is, I guess, get exact numbers on how many cars that y'all actually have that have dents, dings, even
Okay.
minor scratches.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, my mom kind of goes through cars fast. And so one thing that my parents look for in their cars, I just graduated college, so I don't have much experience in this, but they look for dings, dents, scratches, etc. because they buy fairly new, but not terribly used, like 10,000 miles.
Right.
So one thing that really sticks out to them are dents, dings, and scratches. Now, when people are in the market for buying a used car, specifically a rental car, they're going to know that, or the car's going to have the stereotype of being abused.
Mm-hmm.
And so the cleaner y'all can get it to look for those people, for the consumers in the market to buy an extra rental car, I think the better odds, or maybe the better percentage of sales y'all would have just by using this protection film. Because a lot of rental car companies, not a lot, but I would say a portion, get the ding scratches, don't necessarily replace them because they're like, oh, it's just a rental car, we have 2,000 others at these. So whenever it comes time to sell, they're just trying to get it off the lot just to make their money back. Now, to be a difference in this industry, I guess, with Snazzy Rental Car, I can see y'all making an exponential amount of money back on y'all's return whenever selling your rental cars.
Okay.
Just by using this paint protection film. Because whenever you put this on the car, like I said in my illustration, it's going to keep those dents and scratches from getting there.
Right.
So whenever you sell these cars and they don't have any dents and scratches on them, you can sell them for a higher price.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Excuse me. Do you have any more questions?
So I guess what does the application process look like? How long does that take? I just can't have my cars in the shop
Right.
for extended periods of time because renting them out is how we're making money.
So I would say it takes around a day. That's
Okay.
what 3M told. That's what we've been instructed. I haven't necessarily seen our facilities, but I think that we just give it to one of your local, the product to one of your local car factories, I guess, repair shops or whatever, or even, I guess, y'all might have a dealership or something
Okay.
through the manufacturer, but it's just a spray-on film,
Okay.
and if we applied it in the morning, it would be ready to go by the end of the day, and y'all could get it back on the field. But I guess I have a follow-up question with that. How long are y'all's cars typically in the shop? Even though it's not a lot, but how long are they in the shop whenever they're in there for paint repair and dent and all that stuff?
We have a system down and we're obviously outsourcing that. So a day or two, honestly, depending
Okay.
on the damage. So.
Okay. All right. Well, as I said, with this on here, with the paint protection film applied to your cars, it's only saving you time, saving you money, and in the long run, it's going to be maximizing your profits. And I grew up in a family with two parents that started their own business, and one early principle they taught to me was the 5 P's of success for a business. Prior planning prevents pinched profits. So in this situation, prior planning would be applying this paint protection film series so that you can avoid or prevent lower or pinched profits. So the more money we got coming in, I think we both can agree, the better it's going to be for
Yeah,
us.
I love it. The 5 P's. So can you walk me through what that warranty
Okay.
would look like? Because I just want to make sure that I'm fully understanding.
Right. Yes, ma'am. So it comes with a 7-year warranty. I
Okay.
think I failed to mention that earlier. However, if the paint under the film is damaged in any way, I think it says fading, yellowing, and cracking,
Okay.
etc. If any of that occurs to the paint under the film, we will cover the entire cost to get the car repainted, fix it, and then reapply the film on top of it, if you please to do so after the thing happens. But I think that happened in a few tests. It's not a common thing. And then the purchasable service agreement. If something damages the paint beneath the film, like I said, it falls under the warranty for up to 7 years. However, there's a max of up to $3,500, which is really a standard paint job. So.
Okay, and so I guess my question in regards to the warranty is, like I said, we're keeping the cars for 2 years.
Right.
So I guess my question to you is, how does that 7-year warranty beneficial to me, because that I'm losing 5 years off that warranty that I would presume is built in too.
Right. So you'd be paying, say, $111, like I said, for 7 years. Actually, you'd be paying for it for 2 years. However, whenever y'all sell these cars in the resale market, you could use this paint protection film as, you could say, a sales pitch.
Okay.
Because I think the average person drives a car these days for around 2 to 3 years. So if the next person had it, they would be paying for the paint protection film for, say, 3 years, and then the next person would be 2 years. So if anything, it just adds extra value to the car that you could throw into, I guess, possibly increase the money that y'all make off of it. Whether it's $100 or not, it still adds up.
So basically build that into
Yes, ma'am.
our trade-in when we
Exactly.
are selling them off. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That
Do you have
makes
any other
sense.
questions?
Nope, I think that's it. Is there any other questions you have for me?
Not really. Other than what I've I guess portrayed to you today. Is there any reason why you don't think we can do business together?
I mean, I can't make that decision today.
Okay.
I am going out of town. We have this snazzy tour coming up. I'll be out of town for 6 weeks, but what we may be able to do is meet again, say March, and I can bring in a few of my teammates, and we can sit down and we can really have a deeper conversation and to get a better understanding and make sure they're understanding. I mean, I'm a car buff. I was brought up that way. My dad's into cars. Obviously, your dad's into cars too. So I see the value in this. It's getting my team on board as well.
Exactly. I totally understand. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For being
Thank
this
you
way.
for
I
being
appreciate
with
it.
us.
You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you for your time. It's 10:12. You know what I leave early or not?
You should be able to.
Okay. Awesome.
What year are you?
I'm a freshman, so this is my first.
It's okay. I graduated not this December, but the December before.
Okay.
I was in the exact same place as you.
Sweet.
I had gotten into the program in December.
Yeah.
And then my first one was in January. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so I was perfect.
Yeah, I was like really scared because my dad owns a sales